Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me yet again right here on your 5-minute focus on Dead on Dave Productions. Today is a conflicted day for me. I'm having a rough one. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna get into it like this. First, let's get it out of the way because I know so many of you come here specifically for wrestling, and that's great because this is a wrestling channel and I do sports, and this is what we do. So let's start with Raw. Okay, Raw sucked. It was horrible. It's basically indefensible. It is a damn shame that they followed up such a great pay-per-view with a terrible Raw. There are some good points that came out of Raw. I felt some rivalries were furthered and started. Rowan and Big Show, and they did further Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. There's some good stuff there. I thought AJ Lee had a very good segment. And even though I could point to a bunch of positives on the show, overall, because of the main event and how weak it was and the fact that it looks like we were once again thrust into the weekly authority figure. And we're going to get a bunch of rehash stuff. Now we're going to get the anonymous GM next week. And then I'm sure Laurinaitis is going to come back for a week. Maybe they'll even talk Guerrero into coming back for a week. It's like, who the fuck cares? I don't want to. I'd rather have a new authority figure in place. I'd rather it be either Vince McMahon, if he's going to come back as a permanent on-screen character, or Sting, or whatever it's going to be, Mick Foley. I don't care. How about Shawn Michaels for GM? Something, fuck. It makes more sense to me. But that is basically what I wanted to cover on Raw because there's just not much to talk about. It was just a really weak Raw. It was not anything to write home about. And, it's kind of sad because the pay-per-view was so good. Survivor Series was phenomenal, and they followed up with a very weak show. Something much more important happened in the world yesterday, and I'm having a hard time with it today. So I feel like I could talk to you guys, and I might get made fun of or whatever. I don't care. Most of you know this by now. Maybe some of you don't. I was a soldier in the United States Army for 10 years. I was stationed my entire career here in Germany. I deployed 3 times to Iraq. I was medically retired from injuries that happened to me in Iraq. Now, I've been retired for 4 years, and medically retired at a young age. I got hurt at 25. So, when I see something like what is happening in the States in Ferguson right now, it is very difficult for me because I love my country very much so, and I believe in America. When in a time where it's not cool to believe in America, it's not. Right now it's cool to be a detractor. It's cool to point out the obvious flaws that have always existed. Like they haven't existed for years, but now we want to add extra emphasis on them. First off, I want to talk about real quick what happened in Ferguson, what is going on. Basically, a kid who committed a crime, all the evidence is shown to support the cops, the police officers' side of the story. Of course, we can't hear the other side of it because the kid is dead, but that doesn't matter. The evidence has ruled in favor of a cop. Justice is correct here. The process that we have in place that people constantly slam for not getting it right, got it right. And now a city burns because of it. I'm watching my fellow Americans, my human beings, even more than just, it's sad on another level. It's not just sad because they're Americans. These are human beings that are reacting to something. They're not even you know what? That's the wrong word, because they're not even reacting to a life lost. They found an excuse to give in to what they wanted to do. These are criminals that wanted to create chaos, that wanted to steal things, that wanted to burn down multiple businesses without repercussions. And like 30 some odd people got arrested or whatever. Hundreds of people, if not thousands, are responsible. So many people are falling through the cracks because what are you going to do? It's a riot. And that's what it is. Don't fucking come to me with the word protest. This was not a protest. This was a riot. These were organized criminal acts. Okay? People had this plan for when this verdict that was painfully obvious that it was coming. People had this plan to go out and cause mayhem. Destroy lives. Create more havoc and further the cycle that is so ingrained into our culture. I'm having a hard time with it today because as a soldier that I still feel like I am deep down, I have to watch this shit. You know, my buddy Joe Cronin, he did a different type of video. You know, his video is poignant in a different way because he's just so angry by the entire situation that he lets his emotions get the best of him sometimes, and he spoke with a lot of passion and vigor and anger. I'm trying to choose my words a little more carefully because if I give in to it, I would be making the exact same video. And that's not going to help me deal with it because I'm not in the States. I'm in Germany. And in some ways it's harder. Guys like me and Tommy C that did our time in the military, we served our country, and then we decided to stay here because of family reasons, because we met people and had children. You know, it made more sense for us to stay here. It doesn't make it any easier for us to watch this shit happen. So anybody who might be watching this program that are involved in this rioting, this protesting, or knows people that are, or even supports this type of fucking insanity that is sweeping over parts of the country. Take a look. Think about it rationally. Take a few minutes and really fucking critically think, which is a lost fucking art right now. Look at everything that's happened and decide for yourselves, isn't this fucking pointless? I might get slammed in comment sections. Maybe a bunch of people might think I'm a pussy. I don't fucking care. This is something I didn't want to do a video at all today because my head's just not in it. But it's what I do here. I'm going to do a video every day, even on the hardest days to do them. And this is a rough one for me. So I tried to cover a little wrestling, and I tried to give you a little food for thought. At least, I'm not saying my word is definitive or even intelligent. Maybe I'm just rambling. Who fucking knows? But I just thought maybe it would be relevant to hear a different side of things from different side of the world, you know. So take care of each other out there. Take care of yourselves. Keep your head down. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have some wrestling news that I can come back and we can get into the fun stuff. And this could be your break from reality. But hopefully I got a little bit of stuff off my chest and maybe a few people connected with it. That's all I've got. I will see you tomorrow, folks, for your 5-minute focus. Peace.